Throwing a bladed jig has become a huge staple in the industry in the past few years. It's something that we all do on the tour, or we're just fun fishing, and it's something that a lot of people have really picked up in the past few years and just started to fish with. So I want to cover a little bit today on what I throw, rod-wise, reel-wise, line size, and why I throw it. First of all, I'm going to start with my shorter rod. This is a 610. This is a bladed jig rod or a spinnerbait rod. It's got a really parabolic action, meaning it bends from the tip all the way down to the butt seat. And what that does is it allows a lot of forgiveness in this rod, so when these fish come up from behind this bait and eat it, I'm able to continue to reel and then set the hook into the fish. When they eat a bladed jig, fish come right up from behind it 99% of the time, and they'll knock slack in your line. You'll feel that blade stop, and then you can continue to just keep reeling until your line tightens back up, because basically that fish has come up, grabbed that bait, and then started to turn and go away from you back to where he ambushed from. And then you just lean in and set the hook, continue to reel. This is gonna be something that I'm gonna target cast with. This is gonna be something that I throw around docks, if I'm gonna throw it around laydowns, if I'm gonna be making short, accurate casts, I'm gonna go with this shorter rod. I can fish this anywhere I want, where I don't have to make those long casts, and I wanna be very precise with what I'm doing. Under bushes, skipping, things like that, that's where I'm gonna try to put this, and I'm definitely gonna do that with this shorter rod. It's much more forgiving and much more accurate when I'm making those short and precise pitches and casts with this bladed jig. But I keep a second rod all the time in my boat, and I use it quite often as well. This is a much longer rod, and it's a lot heavier rod. This is gonna be my grass setup. This is gonna be my long distance down the bank cast if I'm fishing over grass, open water, anything that I'm gonna fish. If I'm going in between, long stretches of docks and I wanna make some casts, I'm gonna put down that shorter rod. I'm gonna pick up this rod and I'm gonna throw it. This is a 7.6 medium heavy. This is a much longer rod, so I'm gonna be able to get a lot longer casts. And when I make those longer casts, this rod, again, it allows me to pick up all that slack and then continue to hook those fish because I have that extra backbone and length on the rod. This is actually 17-pound test fluorocarbon line again, 7.5-to-1 reel, high-speed reel. I've got to have that when fishing a bladed jig because, again, when you're throwing it on those long distances or you're throwing a bladed jig in general, those fish come up from behind an ambush, and so they're knocked slack in your line a lot of times, and so they're swimming to you, and you got to continue to pick that line up on your reel before they'll actually turn and you can get a hook in them. These are my two picks for my bladed jig rods. They cover my bases in all situations when I'm fishing. Caught a lot of fish on them, and I think they'll help you guys out when you're starting your choices on bladed jig rods.